For more on all of the day's events, we can speak now to Rémi Piet, who is a research assistant in Florida International University. Thank you for joining us via video link up this evening from Miami. To look to Donald Trump's foreign policy approach, you could say that he utterly upended it, essentially, and damaged, maybe in a semi-permanent way, America's relations with the broader world. It was a kind of an isolationist, disruptive approach, to say the least. Can you see that mistrust of America shifting in Europe now that we're moving back to some degree of normality with the Joe Biden presidency? Just to focus, first of all, on relations with Europe, or is there lasting damage?
Yeah. No, obviously, I mean, you explaining very well the disruption of the Trump administration and the return to normality. I think when you actually listen to Claude Michel and the position from the European Union, you can see the priorities are exactly the same that the orders that Joe Biden, has signed, executive orders today, looking at, the pandemics and then the issue of climate change and rejoining the Paris Agreement with the third executive order. So that's exactly what was, the guidelines from the European Union. So clearly, there's going to be a real alignment of policies and position on a series of issues, whether you're looking at the Iran nuclear deal, when you're looking at questions of climate change mitigation, or understanding of norms such as democracy or freedom of speech, questions that are essential in the next few years. Joe Biden has already mentioned the organization of a summit on democracy, where obviously it will be made in conjunction with some of the European foreign policy priorities. So in terms of looking at Europe, yes, there is a real alignment, there's a return to normality, but we should not forget that already at the end of the Obama administration, there was a shift in terms of priorities towards Asia, and that is going to be the case still under a Biden administration. And the relationship between China and the US will shape geopolitics, and on this idea there'd be much more consultation with the European Union to shape a common position from Western powers, and through the United Nations, where the envoy to the United Nations is actually as a position that is at cabinet level. It was the case under the Obama administration. It wasn't the case under the Trump administration, which really shows the will to work multilaterally to joint decision and position on key issues on global affairs.
What about multilateralism in the Americas? I mean, certainly Joe Biden seems to be reversing some of Donald Trump's policies as well, notably on the wall, at least stopping construction of it, a more clement approach to providing a path to citizenship for Latin Americans who've been living maybe undocumented in America. Tell us how you see that going forward in terms of a shift in policy towards Latin America.
Well, when you're looking at the Americas aspect of foreign policy for the U.S., obviously the question of immigration is going to be important towards Mexico, especially because in 2022 we'll have additional Senate elections where some key Senate races from Arizona, Nevada, for example, are going to be on the ballot, and important for Joe Biden to maintain his position in the Senate. I mean, we have to acknowledge the fact that the Senate and Congress are in the Democratic Party's hand, and that will allow Biden to really move forward with his agenda. Now, when you're looking at Latin America as a whole, there's going to be obviously much more consultation with a series of countries that are part of democratic movements and probably less so of the axis between Bolsonaro in Brazil and Trump. So I'm seeing much more alignment with policies in Colombia, in Chile, in Peru, and we'll be looking here more specifically at questions as transparency of trade and norms, especially questions of informality, questions of foreign investment and transparency of those foreign investments, social license to operate on extractive projects. All these will be part of a position of the Biden administration, which is infused by the rejoining towards the Paris Agreement and question of sustainability, sustainable development goals, which is, let's remind the viewers, it's the Year of Sustainable Development Goals in the United Nations until 2025. That's the key central pillar of the United Nations, and Joe Biden has clearly made the case that through the United Nations and through his first decrees, he will make that a priority for his administration. So that means a lot of changes in terms of natural resources investments, or in terms of merely support to democracy when we're looking at the question of Venezuela or other relationship with populist leaders in Latin America.
Rémi Piet, thank you so much for your thoughts on today's events and perspectives going forward from Miami. Thank you for that.